How are we doing, everybody? Happy Friday. And I thought I would wrap this whole week up by doing something a little different. Instead of it being just one topic, let's do a few smaller topics that were kind of like slipped underneath the radar and I can just bundle up in one video. So, just to wrap things up this week, we actually have one little headline and one a little bit bigger headline. We're going to start with the little headline first, which is the zeebo, which was basically a cell phone meant for the TV, is getting emulated. Now, for a lot of people, this doesn't really mean anything because the zeebo basically ran phone games on the TV. It was a system specifically designed to bounce off a 3G network. To give you an idea how old this console is, it came out in 2009 and discontinued in 2011. And another reason why you haven't heard of it is because it was only available in Brazil and Mexico. Now, the big funny thing about this, and the reason why a lot of people are kind of talking about it, is because out of all the phone ports, out of all the mini phone versions of everything that got ported over to this console, Resident Evil 4 got a full port onto this console. It got like a weird, like, pared down version of it that most people have not been able to emulate until now. Now it seems like that a lot of people, that some people are actually going to be releasing a homebrew slash kind of from scratch version of it. I'm gonna throw up the Kotaku article up in here. And it looks functional, yet you can clearly tell that this was a cheap console, really meant for those people who couldn't really afford one. But then again, if you know the console market at the time in Brazil and Mexico, this makes a lot of sense. I mean, it had Crash Nitro Kart 3D, which was another cell phone game, but I mean, then it had like stuff like FIFA, Quake, and Quake 2. You know, a lot of either mobile games or really old games at the exact same time, and it gives everybody a chance to actually play this version of Resident Evil 4, because I think it was actually really hard to emulate or tough to get a hold of up until this point. As for what you'll be able to play the zeebo edition of Resident Evil 4, aka the worst way to play that game, it's likely to at least a year or more away from being fully released to the public. So again, I'm going to link the article down below. It's definitely worth the read to uncovering some video game history that I don't think none of us were able to get, or we didn't even know about this. I first discovered this when I was researching Resident Evil 4, because since I was wanting to own every single copy of Resident Evil 4, and that's how I found out about the zeebo. I'm like, what the heck is a zeebo? Anyway, let's move on to the bigger topic that rang out just only earlier today. As of right now, this happened I think around noon around today on August 4th on Friday. Now, preference, I don't know that many Twitch people. I don't watch that much streaming. I watch a couple of friends, and I watch like maybe Angry Joe and a handful of others people's, but I don't watch that many Twitch streamers, and I don't know that many Twitch streamers. I know Ninja, but I think that's like at one point he was like the Twitch streamer that everybody knew of. But apparently Twitch star Kai, oh dear lord, I'm just going to put it up here so you guys can read it yourself. The most subscribed creator on the streaming platform. Apparently he sent out both a Twitter and an Instagram notice to, hey, meet me here in Union Square in New York City. Now, he prepped it to be just maybe like maybe a couple hundred people. But the thing he didn't recognize is that it's the summer. Apparently the majority of his audience are kids and teenagers who are out of school. He promised that he was going to hand out $100 gift cards, PCs, and PlayStation 5's consoles. In a short stream before going out to a massive crowd, the Twitch streamer pointed out the huge amount of people gathered and commented that the NYPD was out in full force, claiming cops have already used tear gas on oh dear lord! Before departing for the meet, the streamer asked his fans to be safe. Once he left his bus with his entourage and bodyguards, he immediately swarmed by fans, and security team surrounded him and helped him press through. Now, I do believe there's an update to here. Okay, yes. During a press conference held a few hours before the massive giveaway, NYPD confirmed that the streamer was being held in police custody after he was removed from the scene for safety reasons. Now the downside is that Now the downside is that he could possibly be charged with inciting a riot, because this was thousands of kids. Like, they have aerial pictures, aerial video of this dude being swarmed. He has this many followers in New York City. Like, dear Lord, did this dude even think of what he was going to do? Like, does he not know his audience? Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. I mean, just take a second for all this, folks, because this is just maddening crazy. Oh, wow. Okay, that's the bigger headline. On to the next subject. I wanted to cover this, but the Hasbro thing came up yesterday. So apparently, Microsoft is going very pro-consumer, and now you can buy individual parts for your Pro controllers, which is really cool, especially since some of the Pro controllers can actually suffer from stick drift or, button sticking, or maybe, you accidentally knock the Pro controller off your couch or your desk or whatever one too many times and the trigger broke or one of the buttons broke. Well, poops to you, now you have to buy a whole new controller. But now, you can actually buy the actual parts to help repair it. Again, another very pro-consumer by Microsoft. Now, I preface to say this, I know I've been very pro-Microsoft as of late, but that's mostly because that's all been nothing but good news coming out from them. But I try to be fair on everybody. I try to be fair to Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony. I try not to be biased. Editor me here, and I'm going to have to slip this in between some of the stories. I don't know which ones. But Pokemon Presents got announced for Tuesday the 8th. So please keep an eye on that, and I can't wait to see what they present. Oh man, but this was actually kind of cool. A nice little just roundup of all the topics, a little rapid fire for you. And of course, all articles will be linked down below. And I do appreciate everybody who's been subscribing. And of course, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, interact with me somehow. I do want to get this channel really up and roaring, ready to go. And yet again, the first piece I posted was the Transformers piece, and it broke 2K earlier today. And I really do have to say thank you guys, especially for those who are sticking around to past the 7-minute mark. Anyway, guys, I'm just going to post this really quickly. You guys have a good weekend. I'm going to be back on Monday. And I'll see you guys then.